I think this is going to be a super cool, quick video. I had an awesome comment last night from Matt here talking about Barnett. And I've had a few people actually speaking about him and saying, oh my God, he has so much value and you're overlooking him. Or people are just excited about him, not pointing it at me or anything like that I haven't spoken about him, because I did, right? I did in my chat yesterday. Said he exploded in 2024. I was asking, was it improved form? Because 2023 wasn't as good. 2024 was great, and he had a stretch of games that was absolutely incredible, right? And that's what people are going off, that one stretch of games, right? But you do need to look at before and after. You need to look at 2023. Otherwise, there is a chance that you could have rose-colored glasses, right? But this message I thought was really good. So thanks, Matt, for that. It's going to help us a lot. And in this video, we'll see me using footystatistics.com to go through and show how not always is that exact score exactly how it looks. There's different circumstances that happen in game that can push that score to your narrative for sure. So we'll delve into that a little bit further. I just wanted to give everyone the full picture before you do make the decision on someone like him, because I do think he'll do well this year, but to the level that people are thinking of, I'm not exactly sure. But Matt says you are underrating Barnett. Harris and AFB were huge mids, and Barnett is in line to step up to take them this year. James Fisher-Harris averaged 51 minutes and is playing less each season. Well, we'll push back on that one startup. Fisher-Harris is 29 and he's been in a team that doesn't need all of their middles to play 1,000 minutes. I think it works just fine the way that one plays out. Moses Leota, on the other hand, is going down in minutes. James Fisher-Harris playing 51 minutes is very, very normal in a team that has guys like Lindsay Smith, who's an Aussie rep, Moses Leota, who's incredible. So there's three absolute top-tier middles in this game. You've got Isaiah Yeo that plays 80 minutes. You don't have that 80-minute guy at the Wars as well. So Fisher-Harris is likely to be somewhere between that 50 to 60 mark. And I'll give you some examples with AFB's minutes last year that were inflated just like Barnett's were, to help you out with that as well. So they bring in Aaron Clark as well, who's going to take some minutes. And we'll get through all the bench in a second when I go through those stats. But Barnett gets 60 plus minutes each week at prop, averaging 63 last season, given that role in minutes. He has been an 80-minute mid before, could easily be the next Yo. So we're getting a little bit hyperbolic here. Sorry, Matty. Do love you. And it was a great comment, but next Yo is a bit much. Edge is easily covered by Cabewell, Ford, and Niokore. He killed it when Tohu wasn't available, playing huge minutes of props last season. 66 average a prop without Tohu. Going to be a great pod. And I agree. I think he's going to be awesome. But let's get into those numbers when he was playing without Tohu, and it's going to open people's eyes a little bit. But we can't go through any of this without looking at the minutes that he had in 2023. He was with the Warriors. He had here that Barnett has gone to edge at 32 minutes. So he did play 60 in total with some of that on the edge. That's fine. But at prop, he played 57.7 minutes. And if we're expecting him to play 60 minutes, in this scenario, he would actually lose money if it was 2023. And yes, we can't look exactly just at that in that short sample size. Has he improved as a player? It looks like it. He played better for 2.5 months. But before and after, he was more like this player. We've seen that over his career as well at different times, but we do have to look at 2023's numbers as well. 2 years is completely fine to look at. Maybe looking back at 2018 and these types of numbers when he did play some lock minutes and did really well at times. We see 2017, he was 44.6 and 56 minutes at lock. 2020, it was a much better time. He played 74 minutes at lock, and that's not going to happen. He won't be the lock. And at prop, they don't need him to play 74 minutes. It's pretty aggressive, but that's a 57 in 74 minutes at lock. So 3.6 points of value, which is is what it is. For 2024, let's filter by teammate. You can do that here, guys, on the side. Harris, nice. Tohu Harris. So you click onto Tohu, and in 2024, when Mr. Barnett was playing at lock, when he was with Tohu Harris, it was 60 minutes at prop for 48.7. So he played 60 minutes for 48.7. Does that look exciting and enticing? Expecting him to play 60, 65, even if he played 65 in that scenario with another guy like Tohu who does play decent minutes. But remember, Harris didn't play 80 minutes a lot last year at all. He played like 50 minutes and 60 minutes, which is what Dylan Walker's doing anyway. Aaron Clark can come in and take some minutes as well. They've got younger forwards as well that can help out also. But if you go without, that's where the numbers he's talking about. It includes 110, which is pretty wild, but it also includes a 39 in there in 60 minutes as well in round 24. So that shows he has ups and downs, and it's unlikely to be at this tremendous number. He played incredible, as I said, for that 2 months, and people can have spurts where they are incredible. That 110 with one drive off it is one of the best stat lines I've ever seen. So he has that upside for sure. But we need to look at some of these stats. So let's go into the 83 minutes against the Bulldogs, where he got 110. And what we need to look at is who played and what minutes there were. So if you can click into that, every one of these games, basically, something went wrong for this side. If you're looking down the minutes line, you've got, let's just look straight at the interchange. You've got Jazz Tavanga with 41 minutes, Ford with 66, Halasima with 37, and Freddie Lussick with 22. And you look down here, you've got Chan Single-Cookstad. He played 39 minutes at fullback. You had Montoya played 63 minutes on the wing, and Dallin played 46 minutes on the wing. So that is 3 interchange players that have to come on and fill positions, which means what for Barnett? He has to stay on the field. There's no if, buts about it in that game. So he scored incredible. Yes, we have to put that into account, the PPM, but the 83 minutes with 3 outside back injuries is pretty wild. Let's go to the next game. Raiders, 66 points in 73 minutes with a try in this game. We head to the Warriors players, and there's a few information tabs. Look at the interchange again. And this is the other part of it. The interchange of Jackson Ford came on and played 72 minutes. Guess who came off? In the 8th minute, their fullback, Tane Tuapiki, with 8 minutes. We had Adam Pompey, 41 minutes at centre. So there's 2 outside back injuries again that made him play lots of minutes. You had Freddie Lussick play 6 off the interchange. You had Jazz Savanga play 26, and Halasima play 47, who was one of the youngsters as well. So that means big minutes for who? Adam Fanua-Blake, 68 minutes. Big minutes for Barnett. You have to expect that if James Fisher-Harris is in this side, that he's not just going to play 50 to 55 minutes in this scenario if there's 2 outside or 3 outside back injuries. And that's where you see Adam Fanua-Blake's minutes bump up massively as well. And we're watching these games and we saw it happen. We're like, oh, yep, Adam Fanua-Blake, bigger minutes now. Barnett, bigger minutes now because they are their guys. You had Dylan Walker play 80 at lock, which he didn't do all the time. That's for sure. So a couple of weeks basically almost in a row that they had outside backs injuries. Tigers next. He played 59 minutes at prop. So is that going to be a little bit different in this game? Let's just look at their interchange. It's Jackson Ford for 39 minutes. It's Jazz Tavanga for 18 minutes. Freddie Lussick for 23 and Halasima with 9 minutes off the bench. Do we expect the Wires to play their interchange players for that amount of minutes week in, week out? Personally, I don't see it happening. They have Aaron Clark coming over now. Yeah, this is all with Tohu Harris. So if we're picking these stats and what it's going to be like, then sweet. But that also means that without Tohu Harris, they are one short of a player. With Aaron Clark coming in, that's an extra player on this list, which is going to take up minutes from some of these guys for sure. Are we going to see a Halasima? We're probably going to see a Valmaga in there in this one. And you've got Murata Niokore coming in with a little bit more of a bill of health, a better bill of health anyway. So that less happened in this game. You're looking at an interchange with guys that probably aren't going to be getting as many minutes. And Fanua-Blake went to 62 and Barnett went to 59 minutes. And if you expect that, it was a 53 PPM effort with that there. You move to the Eels game. In this scenario, let's look at the interchange again. Straight up, you've got Jazz Tavanga with the 37. You've got Wade Egan with 57 off the bench on that one. And then you've got Tom Ale and Halasima, 31 and 33. So they did actually use their bench guys a lot more, but why? Dylan Walker, their lock, only played 22 minutes in this game. Super frustrating. For Wires fans, that's for sure. I'm sure you guys watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And they obviously split the 80 minutes with Freddie Lussick and Wade Egan. But 22 minutes from your lock, that's 58 minutes that you need to find somewhere else. And you are going to find that with guys like Barnett as well in this one, and Adam Fanua-Blake at 58 minutes. So they switched roles in this one, and Barnett stuck steady for that 71 minutes. So again, another injury. It was only one this time. It wasn't 3 outside backs, but still one to get him up to 71 minutes with no Aaron Clark in this side to add to it. Again, just something to note. I think he has a lot of upside, a bit of upside, but how much is the question. And then the Dolphins clash, 34-32. In this one, you're looking at their bench as well. It is Jazz Savanga with 38 minutes, Dimitri Valmaga with 12 minutes. We had Tom Ali with 17 minutes, and Freddie Lussick didn't get on the park. So those types of minutes are 61 for Barnett. Again, that's still very high, but the interchange are not getting used, which at times is going to be fine, especially when you're trying to fight for your season. But if you're trying to get some longevity in these types of players through the season as well, it can be a little bit difficult, in my opinion, to see them playing the tremendous amount of minutes. And I even had Leota with 67 minutes at centre, didn't get that full game out, unfortunately for him. So that did mean that a few guys, one guy at least, or a couple of guys moved around in this squad. So is that going to happen every week? No. Is it going to happen sometimes? Yes. 15, 20%, I think is completely fine to assume that, there's going to be injuries that moves people around and they play some more minutes, but that also means he can move to, the edge at times, which will be fun as well. But let's just look at his 2024 prop numbers as well. It's 63.3 minutes for 55.9. So if he was to get 63.3 at prop, forgetting that Tohu Harris is not there anymore, and replacing, he didn't play a lot anyway, clearly, or with the big enough minutes anyway. But we can also look at Tohu. Anyway, that's 2.5 points of value with 63 minutes, and we can't expect him to play more than that safely and comfortably, which is what we're looking at the start of the season. But let's look at Tohu Harris and his minutes last year anyway. So for 2024, he went, 80, 66, 80, 68, 80, 80, 80, 62, 65, 73, 49, 44, 56, and 25. So there was only 5 games where he played 80 minutes last year, and the rest were unders in ranges where you could see Dylan Walker play in the 60s, and then some games off the bench and a 56-minute at lock. So Tohu Harris wasn't there a lot last year, and we still got a 53 average out of Barnett with tremendous upside and some downside on the other end of it. So there you go, guys. I hope that was a helpful lesson in how to use the site as well. It's an awesome site. Very, very helpful just to be able to delve into those things. But Matt, an incredible question on your front. I do really appreciate that. Most of it absolutely spot on. I did want to push back at a couple of those things because we will see Fisher Harris play in the 60s and 70s 70s maybe not, up towards 70 at times, because he can, and he has done for the Panthers in important times. There's other games where they don't need to, and they use him and Leota more as impact. So he comes in and is going to play closer to AFB minutes. Again, they don't have the depth of some other teams. So when some players get injured, these guys do have to step up. And that's a big win for guys like Fisher Harris and for Barnett, because their ability and their PPM is really, really high. So I think it'll be a really solid pick. He has dual position, Barnett. Fisher Harris, I think, is going to be a good pick as well because of these situations that we just went through as well. That's the positive side to it, is that if injuries come in, these guys go for bigger minutes, and that's awesome for their scoring. So both those guys, if you have them in your team, I say well done. I really do like them as picks. I just wanted to help out that those numbers that are rolling through in the mid-60s, scoring at Isaiah Yeo levels, it's not going to happen. It might do for a certain amount of time. He also has that 110 in his average, right? Which, if we see that again from Barnett, I'll stand there and say too good. But it's not to be expected. Guys like Yo haven't done that before. Even guys like Cleary and Hines have only done that a few times. So it's an impressive feat, Turbo, these types of guys in the peak of their powers. So thanks so much for joining in for that video. Please please subscribe on podcast and on YouTube, and all of the private group stuff is in the description, guys. Get around that. It's going to be super fun this year. We'll catch you in the next one.